but it's kind of like an artsy type of thing.
Yeah, because the thing was like I thought Kim was going to be like a real artist. He had all the components. He could really rap. He could really, his voice sounded good enough to sing on there. It was at the right time for that type of music.
He had a cool look. He
had
look
a cool look. He had a good story, his dad and all of that.
Yeah.
And he was just so dope. He was so fire. He could perform.
Because we went to that.
He was out of here.
We went to that one show
in Winter Park somewhere.
It was more downtownish.
Yeah. That was really dope.
Yeah, that was.
And he packed it out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Let me see.
From the Sunshine State, the great state of Florida, and what does your Uncle Charlotte always say? The craziest people in America come from the Bronx and all of Florida. I'm Big Bubba, cross my black car. It's booby traps and pit bulls cross my backyard. I'm still strapped, boy, these handguns on Vanguard. I like going against the grain cause my hand hard. Bae, I used to thug hard to see this crack hard. I don't thug nothing but the motherfucking task force. Me and 2 Root running shit, we like the fat boys. Paid cash for it, so I try this and fast forward. I put it all in your face like you asked for. Most of you love frontin' like the dashboard. I get it chalked out like the blackboard. I got the ghetto off glass like the backboard. Most of my niggas ride till it ain't no gas for. We been outside like ain't no map for. Been outside like ain't no map for.
I swear to God, these motherfucking jits in Florida is different. Man, I was at this house the other night. Gave her a little side son one melatonin, thinking this little motherfucker gonna go to sleep. Hell no, the little motherfucker ain't go to sleep. I ended up giving this little the whole goddamn bottle. He ate them all. It was up all motherfucking night.
I'm in all white ones. Picture could get me a Cy Young. We feel like nuns. No f***s giving like Spice One. We feel like bums. Don't change that I might run. Feel like bunch. Shit sit when the price jump. I got white bumps. These bags kill it price plump. You only die once. I know you a snake with a sliced tongue. I can't trust you. I'ma dust you. Ain't no checking temperature. It's f*** you, then it's f*** you. These laws I'm stuck to. You know how many 12-12s I run through? My get cut, but my girlfriends get cut loose. My get hit like kung fu. I love the streets, but they never told me I love you.
Yeah, I already know. I'm straight from Florida, G. You know, bottom of the motherfucking map. Home of motherfucking Uncle Luke. Home of Trick Daddy. Home of Kodak Black. Nothing but gold T-Wicks and motherfucking sticks. You already know. Bottom of the map. FLA. Shaped like a motherfucking Hezbollah. Have you, want it?
With who?
Juju Osborne.
Oh, no, not as much.
Yeah.
No. Juju is in a better. He's in a better spot.
Yeah.
With a better team.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll hear from Juju. We hearing from him soon, actually. Shout out to Juju. That's a nice question. That's the way to start the show.
Yeah.
Over there with Big Sean and them over in Cali. Who says people from Orlando are not successful? That's been the talk the last couple of days on there. Some guy went viral for saying that.
People from Orlando aren't successful?
Yeah, why yeah. And then people are like, you gotta stop thinking just rap and entertainment. We have plenty of business people and this and that.
Nobody cares about those motherfuckers. That's boring.
So I don't know. I didn't really like tap into it. I just saw people sharing and stuff, and Black, you know, Black was interested in it, so he was talking about it and stuff. Come on in, man.
What's up?
Come on in.
What's up, man? I'm
Good,
sorry.
No, all good, man.
Good. All right, man. We had a bet if you was going to be late or not. I said you was, so I won. You won me some money. So I appreciate it.
You know your people. You know your people.
No, I was just joking. Man. I was just joking.
That's
I
funny.
wanted to do us right, man.
And if we did have a bet, I would have taken it later.
Damn. How y'all doing?
Yeah, we good, man. We literally just starting the show. So you are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Peg, home of sports, music, and mayhem. We're available on all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. We got our main man Tony in the building.
Yeah, man.
Right. And Tony has a sports platform, man. He's been super crazy consistent with it. They're doing good, and they pretty much talk all sports. And today we're going to be talking about the NBA playoffs for sure. Okay, previewing that. We're going to be talking about a couple of court cases that's been going on. This teen, this track star, with that's a viral situation going on there. We got some HBCU news with Charlie Ward, and got some more interesting things like you see there with Jeffrey Dahmer there. Yeah, it's like on the bench is like a box of chocolate.
I last half an episode with that Dahmer thing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like one of the few things I binge. And I'm normally not a
I told him too. I binged it too.
Yeah, no, I was like, the first episode, he seduces the guy from the bar, and he gets him back to the apartment, and then you just see where this is going, and it's just in my head, I'm like, I don't need to watch this. Like, this is not going to make my day a better day. Like, I know where this is going, and I don't want to go there.
That's crazy. That was the opposite for me.
Really?
I literally, like, when I watched probably the same amount, I was like, yeah, I'm in. Let me see what this is about to be about.
I don't know, man.
No, that's for sure. I was going to save this for the end, but I'll go ahead and just say it now. It's been a few things on my mind, right? And I had to kind of choose one. And I kind of just want to get this out the way early. So let me get this out the way real quick here. There's been, on a mainstream podcast level, there's been beefs between basketball. You got the Gilbert Arenas and Pat Bev and Brandon Jennings and all Jeff Teague and all of those guys going at it. I just sometimes you got to put a fire out before it even gets started. So, guys like, Do What We Want to Do podcast and the Gorilla Boys podcast and At Leah Hoops Talk and all these guys, Selling Nation podcast, GM5 Side B podcast. I just want to get this out of the way real early. So, don't get the wrong idea and think y'all gonna, what I'm saying? Because me and Pink, I even add my guy Tony in here, whatever, from on the bench. Y'all just don't want to see us on the court. You understand? Because these guys, they real funny. They funny. They hilarious guys, but that's all they really got to offer. You understand? So I just want to get that out the way early. Is that I don't want y'all, y'all OANs getting any ideas. You got the YNs and then you got them, just old ass ninjas. So I want to get that out the way early. You understand? Right. I want to make sure I'm clear on that. All right.
I think you are.
All right, man. Let's talk some NBA playoffs, man.
Let's talk.
Guys that get paid to do it. All right. All right. So we got the play-in that happened as far as the Western Conference, the big game anyway, with Golden State and Memphis. Okay, so Golden State is now, they're going to be playing against the Houston Rockets. We'll see if Memphis can take that 8th seed. All right, and then on the East Coast, you got the Magic, who beat up on the Hawks. Not sure if you guys want to talk about Trae Young at all, but he's showing some immaturity and all that good stuff.
Was that really immaturity?
Was it? I don't know. We'll talk about it.
I mean, he was frustrated. I just didn't put too much into it. Like, he's frustrated. They're losing. They ain't coming back at that stage. He probably just wanted an early shower.
I can see that.
I mean, I'm gonna have to play on Friday night.
More than anything, Trae Young is just not that. He's just not the guy. He's not that guy.
No, he's not.
I think the Hawks should pivot sooner than later. Maybe at this point, is Trae Young selling that many seats?
No.
And,
Atlanta's not a sports town, which is odd.
They love their Falcons.
They do love the Falcons.
They love their Falcons.
And when the Braves are good.
Do they love the Falcons whether they're good or bad?
I think that's
the no, they're out there. They're out there.
They're not fair weather Falcons?
No. They're out there. They're out there. They're better than, like, Miami. From a fan base perspective.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Georgia Bulldogs, that's not in Atlanta, so we won't go there. But yeah. But
I think the Hawks have always struggled to maintain a good fan base, though. For what, I mean, even go back to the days of Dominique Wilkins and some of those teams. I mean, I don't think Atlanta's ever really, loved the Hawks.
Yeah. Even like when they won 60 games with Jeff Teague and them, that was like, it was no buzz around that.
Right. They knew that they were going to shit the playoffs.
Also true. True. I was saying that maybe the Magic should make a play for Trae Young. I feel like the Magic should try for one of the young guys that may be out of there, as in Trae, maybe kick the tires on LaMelo, kick the tires on Ja. I think Ja's going to be out of there. And the Magic need somebody who can score. And they have enough defenders around them where somebody who's like Trae, who's a liability defensively, it's okay. But we need somebody to get buckets sometimes other than Paulo and Franz. Because if they're not getting buckets, they get
last night Cole Anthony got some buckets.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
He legitimately had a fantastic game.
He did.
Credit to him.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you got Magic fans who want Trae, who want Melo. You know, as far as Trae, I'm down on small scoring guards. I just don't like them.
I'm down on all three guys you just mentioned. Like I don't see them.
I'm not as
the
down.
Answer to anybody's problem.
I love Ja.
I think
don't
they,
anymore.
I think they help.
Why you don't love Ja? Because of the gun stuff?
No, just because he's an injury-prone small
guy.
guard.
Yeah.
I mean,
He got hurt last
his
night.
best basketball is behind him.
No,
I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
No, I don't know about that.
I'm quick to put people in the grave.
Josh far from in the grave.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Like, injury prone, but to what degree? Like, he's not
LaMelo's
as
more
injury prone than to not pull a plug on a trade if you get a good deal out of it. Like, I don't think that's that big of a red light to say, oh man, John's been hurt whatever. If you get a good deal out of it.
Well, of course. I mean,
and it's a need for the Magic.
Everything is
need somebody to get a bucket.
Everything is contingent on the deal. I mean, if you can acquire Ja or Trae Young for pennies on the dollar,
Trae Young is different. That's why I want to make sure I slide that line.
But I'm saying, like, if we're looking at it from a deal perspective, there are certain deals that have to be made. If you're gonna demand, so little, the deal would make sense at some point. I'm gonna make the deal. Even if it's just to make a deal to then make another deal with what I just acquired. Like, if it's deal making, I get it. But to me, I'm reading the question as, are any one of those three guys we just discussed the magic piece to get me to championship contention?
I think so.
And I think all three
so.
of those guys are fatally flawed.
No.
I think so.
Yeah, I fully disagree.
I think because of everything around them. Like, all the flaws that those three guys have, the team around them can cover.
You're not winning with Trae Young, though. I want to make that clear.
No, I agree.
My
I agree
opinion.
with that.
Of course, it's an opinion now, but I don't think you're winning with any high scoring guard at that. Like Trae's going to come in. He's going to take just as many shots as Paulo, and probably more.
That was going to be my question too, though. Like, if Trae Young has had the green light in Atlanta his whole career.
Yeah.
So, like, if he comes to Orlando, or anywhere, if he gets traded, and now you have a wing that can score, or in Orlando you got Franz and you got Paulo, two guys can go for 30. Do you think that
last night combined,
right? But do you think Trae can, like, kind of step back and low key be like a Steve Nash role?
I do not.
A higher assist, less points.
He had a guard for what was that, for 2 to 3 years? Okay,
Murray.
Yeah, with Murray, and it didn't work at all because they had to share the ball. Trae needs to be in a full-time system where he can run the pick and roll with a dynamic big for like 80% of the game, and that's where he's most effective. And then he can spread the ball to the shooters as needed. That's Trae Young. That's the way he's.
Well, the sad reality, he's in his own optimal environment.
Yeah.
For what he is in Atlanta.
Yeah.
They don't have another great player. He doesn't easily fit with the profile of another great player, and he gets to play in Atlanta, and they're a fringe playoff team, and he puts up empty stats.
And they have really good defenders around him.
Yeah,
probably one of the best perimeter defender in the league.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again,
barrier thief.
You look at I jokingly mentioned like Franz and Paulo both had tough nights. They could not get going against Atlanta's defenders at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think he's in an optimal thing. So it doesn't make sense to move and expect him to accept some sort of different role. He's just not that guy.
That's plain and simple. He's not that. He's just not that guy.
He's kind of just a one-trick pony.
But one thing he is healthy versus the other two options, and John Morant and Melo.
This is true. Trae is always available.
Trae is always available. I will give him that, right? I ain't just going to totally dismiss him. Yeah, no. It's definitely is. But, okay, so we have that dynamic. Now, you do have the Magic, who is the fans were screaming for Boston, man. We want Boston, right? But do any of you guys see anything less than a sweep? Anything more than a sweep?
I'm not. I mean, I'm not here to me, as sweeps are tough. Sweeps are tough. I think because there's a lot. There's a level of concentration that it demands, and we've seen this Boston group in the playoffs before. I mean, they've let a game or two go in a series that they have command of. It's not unprecedented for them. If I had to bet money, gun to my head, I'm saying 5 games just because I think Boston gives away a game somewhere. But is the series close or competitive? No, it's not. Boston controls this series, but I do think the likelihood that they drop one game over the course of this thing is high. So I'm gentleman sweep all day.
Tony, hear me out on this. Pink is totally against this. You're a Magic fan, right?
No.
Wait,
I'm a Lakers fan.
You're a Lakers
fan.
I'm
a root for the Magic.
Okay. We get into the Lakers, of course, right?
Okay.
The Magic, if they would have lost the first game, which is a gamble, I understand that, Pink, but you lose the first game.
I see where this goes.
Dominate the second game so you can get a better matchup and get the A seed and go against Cleveland. The Magic has a much better shot against Cleveland. One, that's sort of like a young rivalry that's going on.
It's happening.
It's happening, okay? They match up well with them. They had a much better chance against the Cavs, okay? Should they have done that? Because you have no chance against Boston. So what's the point? I mean, just to confirm you're in, what is the point?
Well, I'm going to hit you with some stats.
Okay.
Magic are 6-4 against the Celtics the last 10 games.
Okay.
Second best in the league. Okay. I forgot who was first. So
OKC.
I think it's OKC.
Yeah.
So you actually match up pretty well. Better than anybody in the East.
Better than I would have guessed and expected. Okay.
Also, what do the Celtics do? They try and shoot 50 threes a night.
And Orlando Magic is number 1 against guarding the 3.
Against the 3.
Got you.
So you probably match up against the Celtics better than Cleveland. And, I mean, you're going to lose to Cleveland. You're going to lose to Cleveland anyway. I feel like you're going to.
You took him to 7 last year. You took him to 7 last year. You run it back this year.
I think this is a different Cleveland team. You know, I really think they have a different focus with them. I think Jalen Suggs being gone is a big deal for the Magic. That's really been the turning point of their whole season, Jalen Suggs being out. So I think you go in against you, and you don't want that gamble, like you said. You do not want to go, and let's say the Heat lose. I mean, let's say the Heat win tonight. You do not want to go in a one-game matchup against Eric Spoelstra.
Yeah.
You know, you probably going to fuck around and lose that too. Now it's lottery time.
And that's why I agree with this. It's you're doing all sorts of like gymnastics to get this matchup that you at the end of the day, they beat you in the playoffs. You have 7 games. And I don't think there's any question in the world. I mean, this Cleveland team has been far better, far more consistent night in and night out to do what they've done this year than they were last year. So they've gotten better, and they already beat you. And, you know, to again, put yourself in a position of essentially throwing a game against the Hawks and putting all your eggs in the basket of beating potentially like the Heat in a one-off game. Like, and if you lose it, you're not even in the damn playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, you need, you know, to make some progress as an organization. You can't, you know, continue to go backwards.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. And again, I'm just a huge believer psychologically in, you know, playoffs, tournaments, whatever. The team that bitches about their situation already defeats themselves.
No, that's for sure.
And that's that more than any other factor. That's why I wanted for the Magic take care of business last night like they did, go into this Celtics series and get after it. And they do have kind of a quirky, successful record with the Celtics of late, although I think it was more last year that they had the Celtics number than this year.
Probably. And real quick, the way they won last night, like, confidence is a thing.
Yeah.
Like, they kicked the Hawks' ass.
Yeah.
You know, so they're feeling good.
Yeah.
You know, that's
they were in command throughout. It got a little bit close, but then they responded and played well down the stretch. They got nice contributions from Cole Anthony and some other people off the bench. Black played well. You know, you didn't have a great Paolo night, a great Wagner night, and you still win comfortably. So just, you know, do what you do and get after it.
Will Boston or Cleveland see a 7th game before they eventually meet each other? Right?
If I had to bet, I would say no.
Yes.
No. You would say yes, or you saying?
I say yeah.
You say yeah?
Cleveland
So
I think Cleveland sees 7 against the Bucks because I got the Bucks beating the Pacers.
Okay, I was going to say that's the second round matchup.
That'll be a second round matchup.
And then Boston will see the winner out of New York and Detroit.
Yeah.
Who? I think
they're not seeing Detroit. 7, huh?
I think that'd be Detroit.
I'm hoping it's Detroit.
I
don't care either way.
I mean, New York. I'm sorry, New York, Detroit. I hope it's Detroit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want Karl Towns to experience anything resembling success for the rest of his life.
You don't like Karl, but Karl,
I hate him.
He's been playing
What
well
Cat
this
do to
year.
you, man?
Cat been playing well.
He's a bipolar, effeminate moron.
He's been playing well, man.
Yeah, not my guy.
I think the Bucks will push Cleveland to 7.
Okay.
You can get to game 7. You never know.
I don't know what's going to happen with Dame, but they play better defense without him, so that's one thing. And but still, that's a big piece that you're missing. So I'm not sure.
It's supposed to be out at the beginning of the playoffs.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
kind of like
Yeah.
day to day. Maybe that second series he'll be available.
Yeah.
Giannis has been on another level though.
He really has. I mean,
and him healthy in the playoffs, we haven't seen that in 2 years. So that's something the East is going to have to contend with.
And he's kind of taking more of the he's taking a lot of point guard responsibilities. His assists is going up last few games, all of that good stuff. That. But again, that first series for them is not a cakewalk.
Against the Pacers, no.
Because the Pacers, I always say, man, the Pacers
been on that.
play the Bucks really tough for the past 2 seasons, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not to say as much as they have their number, but that shit is more 50-50 than people think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have long guys, Patrick Siakam, you got Turner down there who's a great rim protector. They match up pretty decent with Giannis. All right, so that I'm going to be plugged into that. Now, before we just get to the West, just overall East and West, what is a series that y'all going to be locked into every game?
The Warriors. Whoever they play.
So
Well,
that's
playing
that's
the
the
Rockets.
Houston. They're playing Houston.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying
Oh, you're just saying
my-
even next series after that.
Okay, so I watched the Magic game last night, and I don't like watching Paulo play basketball.
Yeah.
Really?
He annoys the shit out of me.
I think he's vastly overrated. That's for sure.
What individually drives me insane is that every time he catches the ball, he has to collect himself. He can never play in
Get
the
it and go.
moment of the game.
Yeah.
Get it and go. Drives me crazy. And I just hate watching him. It's annoying as hell to watch him. So then I had to endure that for the 7:30 game. But then I get to the 10 o'clock game. And just watching the Warriors play, watching Steph move around, snipe shots, that's what basketball is all about. There's no better show for me than that.
That's what it's about now.
It's about forever, man, forever. If you like fluid movement sports, that's what you want to see. Like movement, the ball moves, guys are, opportunistic and crafty and make shit happen. Dude, I cannot take a bunch of ISOs and all the other shit that these guys do. It's boring to me. And when I watch the Warriors, I'm actually engaged. There's multiple possessions where I'll just be just sit back and I'll laugh. Or I'll be just enjoy it. It's fucking fantastic. And I don't feel that when I watch most other teams play.
Are you surprised that most other teams haven't gone to more of a ball movement offense?
No.
It's player skill set. I think it comes from how kids are trained now. They're only trained to work by themselves.
Yeah, but Boston's kids and Golden State kids were all trained under the same pretenses. So I don't think. I mean, that's a good point, but I just don't think that's it. I don't think that's the reason.
I think
you
that's,
get a good coach in and implement an offense.
that's
hard to force.
That's strong. It is hard to force habits, and I think that with the singular exception of Curry, most guys that are regarded as stars are these heavy ball intensive guys,
Yeah.
and nobody wants to run like Steph Curry runs. Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
And you can't there's a mental breakdown. Guys will not do that. They're not willing to do it. And so you might have a couple good possessions or a few good minutes, and that dude, whoever your guy is going to get tired, and he's going to stop moving, and everything you planned on doing dies. And it's like you don't understand how difficult it is to play that way because nobody else is doing it. And there's a ton of guys that are skillful, that are quick, that are that great combination of size and strength and guile, and the ball just, sits with them. That's what Paulo is. Like he's not as athletic or skilled as like LeBron, Luka, even James Harden, like those guys that are kind of the archetypes for this type of player. But he's like this poor rip-off version of that. That's what you're, technically he can do a lot of stuff. Technically he can shoot the ball. Technically he can handle the ball. Technically he can pass a little bit. He can drive a little bit. He can do everything. But watching it is like watching a guy have diarrhea. It's just not aesthetically pleasing. There's no art in what he does.
I got you.
It's like a musician who they just play the notes like a robot.
Yeah.
And okay, that's what it is, but there's no artistry there. There's nothing that gets you out of your seat and say, man, I want to see that again.
There's no flavor on it.
Hell no.
I got no sauce.
He's Karen's potato salad.
What about you? What about you, Tony? What series are you going to watch every single game?
And there's a couple. I want to see the Rockets and Golden State.
Okay.
I know I'm gonna watch everyone. I say that's sorry. I always say that. I said that's the YNs versus OANs. That's what it is. But Styles makes fights, and I want to see how that goes. Of course, I'm gonna be watching the Lakers, even though I think it's gonna be a shorter series. Lakers and the Timberwolves gonna be interesting because I love Anthony Edwards. He's one of my favorite players to watch. So those two for sure.
I got you.
I guess really the question is if you have, because those are both West Coast series, if you have a night where those two are on at the same time or staggered, what are you watching? Yeah. What's your choice going to be? That'll tell you.
It's going to be the Lakers.
That'll tell you.
Yeah, it's going to be the Lakers. I'm a person, I'm always say, my favorite team it's going to be on. I don't care if we playing bums. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna watch the Lakers above anybody else.
Just kind of the West for me. There's so much. Again, I'm ride or die with Golden State just because of the style of play. I do like the JJ, Luka, LeBron, Lakers. They've been intriguing. They've been enjoyable to watch for the most part. I'm into that. I do like Ant Edwards. I want to see can he do anything. I think he's overmatched. I think they're going to lose the series.
Yeah.
But I'm here to see it. And then with regard to OKC, that's the team I picked to win it all early, and I just want to say, can they do it? There's gonna. I don't think any team's gonna roll to the final, and I want to see how that team handles when the going gets a little tough.
Well. No team in the West. The West is really crazy. Right. But I do think Boston will roll to the finals.
I hope so. I do.
Think so? You think even the Cleveland series?
I think they will roll through any and everybody they play.
Moses Malone, fo.
My cousin
not
said,
fo.
My cousin said that.
Not fo.
My cousin said that the other day on the episode.
But they're they're not gonna show any pain points. Boston is really the way their team is set up is.
It's unfair almost.
It is unfair. It is unfair. It's not like the superstar joining, like KD joining. It's not like that. It's like they have the two stars, and then they have so many star role players.
Yeah.
That no other team. I've never seen a team. Maybe like the real old Boston teams that back in the 50s, 60s, whatever they try to tell us, the 70s and all of that. Because like I say, Wilt did have to go against 10 Hall of Famers. It's like that. Even the 5 guys on the bench are Hall of Famers. That's nuts. But they, those guys they just fucking awesome, and nobody in the league has anything close to that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And then I think the playoffs they're going to play at a pace and in a way that is just going to show you.
So basically that's it. You don't think OKC has anything for the Celtics?
I do.
Oh wait, I do.
I said to the finals.
To the finals.
Okay. I think OKC matches up with Boston really, really well.
Perfectly.
Because their role players, they're good. They just aren't as as polished or as celebrated as whatever.
They haven't been around as long.
They haven't been around as long. They're younger.
And that
but
highlights.
They have a similar setup.
That highlights my main intrigue with watching this OKC team. So, adversity is going to hit, and they're not the most experienced guys. And I'm really intrigued to see how they respond to that.
Yeah, second round is going to be really interesting for me for OKC.
I think the first round will be interesting if they got to play Memphis.
Nah.
I think so.
I think Memphis is dead. Memphis is dead in the water. Number one, their coach is like way out of the depths of his league.
That was crazy. I said they don't get the 5 seconds with Jenkins yesterday.
Yeah, and it's not even just. It's just I really don't like anything about him. His rotations, he doesn't call plays out of timeouts and things. They're all the ways out of sorts. I mean, he's out of his depths. He's out of his depths. Yeah. And then you got this jaw injury, which you guys said he's always injured. Pink said it. So who knows what's going to happen with that. But I mean that's fair for you to think.
But do you not agree though? Like I don't know the exact 3 years when he got injured against the Warriors in that series.
Who's that?
Ja. A couple years back, do you remember what I'm talking about? I think Jordan Poole was involved in the play or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Like that Ja, I think that Ja scared people. Like he was that good. He felt that unstoppable. And I don't think that player exists anymore.
I mean, he was on his way to whatever, 30 and 8 last night. I mean, he was.
Yeah. I
just don't. He looked.
And as bad as Memphis,
awesome last night. You didn't see off the backboard
he looked very good.
He's the same player, and he shoots better now. I mean, back then he was shooting like 20%. I mean, he shoots better now.
There was
still
something.
as explosive and athletic.
There was something about him.
He's as athletic, not as explosive.
There was something about him competitively that I think was special, and I don't think that's there anymore.
I can buy that. I could somewhat buy that. I think his team was better then than it is now. Yeah. But I can buy that maybe something a little different in his genetic makeup now from a competitive standpoint. I can buy that a little bit.
That's just a feeling I have. And when I say that, I don't, for the Magic to get him or whatever, I mean, if the deal's right, you do it. But I think I said it about maybe a month ago. I don't ever see him being a top guy or top 2 guy on a championship team. I just don't think that happens with Ja is,
the good thing about Ja is he is a pure point guard. He doesn't have to be like the main guy because he's not set up to be the main scorer on the team.
Right.
He's just not. He's set up to be a pure point guard on your team, and I think that is the vast difference between him and like a Trae Young and things like that. Ja would fit very well next to a dominant wing. He'll fit very well next to any of them. But they don't have that. They kind of haven't had that in his whole career.
No.
He should get that. Maybe him and Paulo. I don't like it because they both have struggle shooting. That'll be tough. You have to get some fucking some Ray Allens over there.
What would be
they thought they got it with KCP.
If Ja's not in Memphis? What would be in your estimation for him the best possible scenario?
I'll trade him for Tyrese Maxey yesterday.
Well, no, that serves you in Philadelphia, but no, I'm saying for him. What would be the
for him? What's wrong? What's what you talking about?
To play with 25 games a year, Embiid and Paul George.
Maybe Cooper Flag. Who knows?
Maybe
what do you want? I mean, what do you want? But no. But we have our role players are better than Memphis role players, for sure. Quentin Grimes, Yabu, all of those guys. Yes, you don't. The Memphis doesn't have a star player next to him. So if Embiid or Paul George isn't playing, who gives? I mean, if you just compare the situation, let's get more realistic. I'm
not I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I'm just saying from his perspective, I want to win titles. I kind of like what you said. I'm more of a poor point guard. I'm not built to be the leading scorer on a championship team. I'm cheating a little bit
because I'm looking at the team.
And Ja has a All-Star in Memphis.
I would
fake All-Star.
I mean, Triple J.
Jaren Jackson. I'm not high on him. No. He's another guy. It's disturbing to watch him play offensive basketball.
I like Miles Turner better.
It's the fouling for me.
I like Miles Turner better, but Miles Turner doesn't get nearly the much.
Because Miles Turner's
as much flack.
8 feet tall and gets 3 rebounds a night. It's crazy. he should definitely rebound better for his
But
size.
every time Jaren Jackson shoots the ball from the perimeter, it looks like an accident. It looks like a glitch in a video game.
If I'm Ja, I'm trying to get my way to Milwaukee or wherever Giannis is going next.
Okay.
That's kind of
Following Giannis.
What about
Get some of that heat
Detroit
culture.
with Cade?
No.
I don't
No?
like that.
Cade is the point guard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ja can't play anywhere else but point guard, and neither can Cade. Yeah.
Cade could probably play the two though.
Nah. He's too high volume with the ball. He makes all of the decisions, and he's really fucking good doing it.
This is true.
And then unless you want him in Minnesota,
But Ant,
unless you want him with Ant,
That'd be interesting.
that's not bad.
That'd really
it'd be interesting. You know what I mean?
They could almost, in like a crazy way, bring the best out of each other
Yeah.
by just kind of being
That'd be an interesting.
You
backcourt.
you almost feel like that he could get around Ant and kind of like regain that element of fearlessness that I was talking about. Just that competitive fearlessness.
I
That
can
the
see
two
that.
of them would just be, fuck it, let's go.
That'd
not
be an
bad.
athletic ass backcourt.
Yeah. Now on Golden State side, really quick before we get to the Lakers, man. On Golden State side, I didn't like how they gave up the big lead to Memphis.
Yeah, for
okay,
sure.
I didn't like that. And then when they on it to this next series against Houston, I do think Houston provides some. First of all, Golden State is favored against Houston. That's really disrespectful. 2-7.
It's very disrespectful.
But I think Houston provides some interesting challenges for that Golden State team, being so like long and athletic on the perimeter pretty much everywhere. And then we saw and we have seen since Jimmy got over there how size is an issue for Golden State.
Yeah.
Even yesterday, Edie, a guy you don't like, okay? Edie really was dominant with his having any moves or anything. Like he
just was so
didn't
big.
have any.
He
moves.
was
just
there.
turns and drops the ball.
like
in the
he was
basket.
there. And then Sagoon, man, he's a skilled big.
Yeah.
And he does well against the Warriors. I mean, he'll need to take it up a notch if you want to get the victory, but they have what it takes. They have the recipe. Now, and then
they're not second by accident. I mean, they've done a great job all year.
And then the last point I'll make is you talk about teams needing experience and young teams. Now, I don't know this for certain, but I'll challenge. I just want to know like what young team has been a number 1 and number 2 seed and has lost. You know what I mean?
First round.
Okay, see.
Yeah.
Oh, in the first round, nobody.
Yeah, in the first round. I'm talking about in the first round. In this 2-7, 1-8 matchup. Like it means something to
it
get
doesn't
there.
happen that often with no team.
Period. It doesn't happen very frequently.
Yeah,
I remember like Dallas lost as a 1 seed.
Yeah, to the
back
Warriors.
during Dirk's time.
And they had a
The
slew of
Spurs
veterans.
lost, I think, in 2008, but that was to like a 50-win 8 seed, that Memphis team.
Yeah.
And again, they had a slew of veterans. I'm just talking about being able to use the excuse of being a young team. They don't know anybody. Like this young team can play. But go ahead. What do you guys think about the series?
And Houston has vets. Van Vliet has a chip. Jeff Green's there, right? Has a chip. One of the oldest guys in the league.
Yeah,
Dylan Brooks isn't
I
a
don't
young
think he even
guy.
plays.
But I'm just saying,
But
like
he's
those
there,
guys
man.
are
He's
there,
there.
to help with that experience that they need. So
And Ime Udoka's got a finals experience under his belt.
Yes.
Yeah. No, Houston, I mean, nothing but praise for what they've done. I mean, like all the moves they've made have been great. Like, I mean, Udoka's the right coach. He's got, he conducts himself almost like a player. Like he brings an attitude and a chip to the game. Like he's directly competing. And I think that type of leadership is good for like a young group because it almost takes pressure off you when that guy is that competitive outwardly and he's gonna talk shit to any player in the league or any of that. Like he almost insulates them in those situations, and I expect him to be very vocal and very animated throughout this series. And again, Dylan Brooks, I'm not the biggest fan, but he's not a bum. And, Fred VanVleet's a solid veteran. And then they have these young, talented, athletic dudes. And they go out and play well. And Sengun is he's an odd fit. I mean, he can just do a lot of different things. He's a little unconventional in the way he plays. I think he's very tough to guard because of that. They've done a great job. I'm not here to tell you that the Warriors are going to roll this series at all. They could easily lose it. I'm a little amused that they are the favorite. But that's definitely kind of leaning into past glory more than present performance.
And they have been a different team, and a better team with
Jimmy, no doubt. So I mean, again, I want the Warriors to win, but I would not be surprised at all if the Rockets win the series.
What you think?
About a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, I texted in a group chat. Houston is an older team's nightmare. And this is going to show in this series. They're deep, they're young, they're athletic, there's all the things that you name, and they can throw so many people at Steph Curry. So, I'm in Thompson may get tired, there go Torrey Eason. You know Dylan Brooks going to have to deal with them. Lil Van Fleet, you're going to have to go out there on some picks. So they can deal with Steph Curry. You talked about the size. I watched them have a closing lineup out there of Jalen Green. They had Van Fleet, so that was kind of small in the backcourt. But their front court was Jabari Smith, Şengün, and Steven Adams.
Yeah.
That's
16 and above.
Across the board. You're not getting a rebound.
Or they're number one in rebounding in the entire league.
So like, and I think that's gonna really kill the Warriors. I like you said, I think they're holding on to past glory. I think it's hard to let go. You know, when you see something new, you just haven't seen it. So it's like, how can they do it? How is it obtainable? But you asked a great question, and I never even thought about that. It's like, what young team ever lost?
Yeah.
Like, we just say that because we're used to hearing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't happen. And I don't think it's gonna happen now.
In the first round like that. Again.
Yeah.
Now, yeah. And again, for you gamblers out there and you bettors, just be careful, man. I know you're thinking Golden State, Houston is like, oh man, whatever. You know, Golden State is going to be favored, but I'm taking it. Just tread light, because I think it will be a long series either way. You know what I mean? I have Houston in 7, but it's going 6 or 7 in either direction.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean, and that's for certain.
I see the Lakers over Timberwolves in an easy 6.
Okay, that's where I'm going next now.
Yeah,
so that's a great way to bring that up.
Yeah, and I just feel like Minnesota hasn't really been good or connected all year. And the playoffs is when those types of cracks in your foundation get exposed. And I just don't see them winning this series. I would be shocked if they beat the Lakers in the series. I think the Lakers, again, easy 6. They might lose a game or two, but I don't think they ever feel like they're out of control in the series. Their key guys are too good, and the Lakers, particularly with Luka, credit to JJ, they've been a pretty connected group. And I'm big on that in the playoffs.
I have become the person that I hate people that do this in other situations, and I've become this person.
Oh no!
So
a self-loathing.
Yeah, I root against Anthony Edwards for off the court, and I hate people that do that with, like, you know, artists, musicians, stuff like that. You know, you know, I still listen to R. Kelly, stuff like that. So yeah, I've become that person, right? So yeah, I root against Anthony Edwards. I don't like him. I want him to lose and fail at every step. That's just where I'm at now. So I root against him, and so. And so not only am I rooting for him to
Bubba
lose,
Brown, defender of baby mamas.
Not only am I rooting for him, for the babies. I'm here. I'm for the babies.
Fuck the mamas. We're just here for the babies.
Just here for the babies, man. Right. Just here for the fatherless babies.
You are Kelly and Michael Jackson. Yeah. All here for the babies.
That's right. You don't catch my baby laying up with some 40-year-old white black man. But anyway. So not only am I rooting for the Lakers to win, I'm rooting for Luka's dominance. I can't wait. My Facebook fingers are itching, like Drake would say. They're itching because I can't fucking wait. People who love to talk about the lack of Luka's defense, and for 3 years in a row, I'll get to point at, well, what about this guy here who y'all claim is a two-way guy, this great defender over here who can't do anything with this white man over here at all, ever. Not like, I can't wait to point it, and I know it's going to happen, so I'm able to foreshadow it. And if it doesn't happen, and Anthony Edwards is great and awesome, he's Michael Jordan, he locks up Luka and wins, yeah, then I'm wrong, and I'll just have to, you know what I mean, suck in my hate, you know. But I just don't see that happening. Okay, and I just can't wait, man. That's the most thing I Christmas I can wait on, birthdays. The next time I get some head, I can wait on all that. I cannot wait on this time, man. I'm so excited.
How many games you got the Lakers winning in?
That don't even matter. I just can't wait for Luka's dominance against him.
I feel you.
But I'm thinking 6 or 7.
Really?
Yeah.
7? I'll be
think it'll go
stunned
7.
if this series goes 7.
Yeah.
I don't see how Minnesota would get to 7 games against this team.
I think their role players are a lot better.
Who?
Minnesota's. I think Minnesota's role players are a lot better than the Lakers. I don't think it's even relatively close. I'm counting Reeves as a star, though. I don't count him as a role player.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Healthy Rui's been decent. Dory Finney-Smith, you get with him. Vando, the intangible, he gonna use those 4 or 5, maybe 6 fouls wisely.
Yeah, I just don't want a guy just to go out there to foul out. I want a guy to do something too.
Nah,
I mean, he plays good defense. Don't get me wrong, but I'll take McDaniels over Vanderbilt all day, any day. They're the same role for each team, but he's a lot better. Walker's matter of fact. Let me save him. Walker is a lot better. I'll save him for Rui.
This series is going to be one at the top of the roster, though.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to.
That's gonna be every series with the Lakers. It's gonna have to.
He's gonna have to. Yeah.
Well, to the extent they win, it would be that. But no, this one in particular, because I just don't. I literally cannot see Minnesota winning the series. I can't see them getting to a game 7.
Yeah. No, that's true. Go ahead. You haven't given yours yet.
To quote the philosopher Shannon Sharp, Lakers in 5. Nah, man.
Urban philosopher.
Yeah, I just Luka, for some reason, I don't know what Rudy Gobert did to him, but Luka loses his mind when he goes against Rudy Gobert.
Why don't they just take him out?
He's going to become unplayable.
But year after year, it's the same thing.
He's going to become unplayable.
Do it before you lose a couple of games.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's going.
They do it every year.
You gotta play him.
You don't.
No, you don't.
You don't.
No, you don't.
You know what's going on. It's the playoffs now. It's not the time.
Sometimes from the coaching side of it, you have to be bold enough to operate in the moment and realize this guy's not helping in this matchup. I mean, whatever. He could have started 80 games. He could be this, that, or the other. But if he's not going to help in this game, in this matchup, you have to be bold enough to make that decision. You go back to when the Warriors were playing Cleveland and they took Bogut out of it.
Yeah.
And it's just they were bold enough to do it, and it worked.
I was going to say Steve Kerr does it a lot because he just did it
to Kuminga. I don't understand.
He just did it to Kuminga. Like Kerr, whatever he believes in his head, him and his team, whatever. Oh, this is what. He doesn't care what it is. It's happening. You're on the bench, whatever the case is. But go ahead.
Yeah, but Bogut and Rudy Gobert are 2 different guys, though.
Bogut's better.
Yeah, but
not more selling.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I mean, dude, put this in context. Rudy Gobert is a fucking bum. He's unplayable in the playoffs. He was he barely played in the Olympic gold medal game
for his team.
For his country. Yeah. His country. This is what he is. When it really matters and the chips are in the middle of the table, his ass is not at the table. It's away. That's it. That's what he is. If you don't get that, you don't understand basketball.
And from that coach's perspective, they should just but it's tough.
Yeah, I get what you're not wrong. I want you to understand. I don't disagree with you, but it's just how you not gonna have your 4-time defensive player of the year play at all in a series in the playoffs.
Do you want to win the playoffs, or do you want to be a nice guy?
Hey, man.
Sometimes you have to cater to these stars. I guess some of these stars
or the higher ups,
here, man.
or the higher ups though, the people who write the checks.
So this is one of my favorite coaches of all time. Is this guy Jose Mourinho. He's a football coach. He was at Barcelona as an assistant, and they brought in midway through the original Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo, phenomenon. And so all preseason they're playing these games, and they have this guy, Peasy, who is the striker. He's scoring goals. He's playing the best soccer of his life. They bring in new Ronaldo under a new deal one day before a game. and it was a cup game that you have to win a trophy. And the head coach, Mourinho's assistant, goes, "We're going to play tomorrow, Ronaldo." And the guy goes, "Really? You'll destroy PC. He'll be mentally." He goes, "Do you want to win tomorrow?" And he goes, "Yes." We play Ronaldo. Ronaldo had 2 goals, 1 assist. They win. Like, you can't. Talent is talent, man. You can't. With all this other stuff, you can't worry about, man.
Yeah. And also against the Lakers, you could play Nas Reed at center and be perfectly fine.
Yeah, the Lakers aren't.
And then offensively, you'd be so much a cleaner offense with Nas Reed's ability to knock down those 3 balls.
The undersized Lakers are a nightmare for Rudy.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't fit anywhere.
Yeah.
In that, there's just no path for him to be impactful.
He's just gonna keep switching them too.
Yeah.
Him and Luka on the pick and roll.
Yeah, I mean he's
him and LeBron.
He's a complete liability in that series.
All right.
Now, I mean, if they matched up with like Denver, I mean, there would be some value to him playing some minutes against Jokic. And
even then,
of that nature.
It was
Jokic destroys him.
But
still,
just
it'd
from
be
a
more
size and whatever, there's a reason to do that
against Houston, against Denver.
But I honestly feel that against the Lakers and the Warriors in particular, Rudy's. Like, his value is at its absolute minimum against those 2 teams.
I think the Warriors would be worse. But yeah,
definitely be worse.
But just what he does and how he plays just doesn't fit in how that game will play out.
Because honestly, the truth about Luka is the type of shots he takes. I mean, 2 games out of the series, he's going to be cold. He's
he's streaky as hell.
Yeah, he's streaky. You know what I mean? So at least you have that going.
But then you got LeBron.
Oh yeah.
In the playoffs.
Oh yeah. We'll see, man. I'm there every game. That's one of the series. I'm like you. I have several series where I'm watching every single game. Most are in the West.
What about Denver and the Clippers? Probably the lowest profile series.
I love it. I'm watching every single game.
That is my favorite.
I'm watching every single game, man.
That's your favorite series?
That's my favorite. Jokic. He's my favorite player to watch.
Oh, okay. Really?
Okay.
Yeah. And for the excitement, but if I just want to watch somebody play, it's Jokic. So I'm probably gonna end up watching at least 75% of that series.
Yeah, I want to watch every single game, man. That's a knockout drag. The Clippers are playing so well right now.
They are.
I'm
scared it's Kawhi Leonard.
So many different mini storylines. I want to see. It's the playoffs now, so we're going to see out of Harden. You know what I mean? It's early. Harden plays well in the playoffs, but it's when they progress. But still, it's still the playoffs. So let's see how he looks. If Kawhi can stay healthy, Jokic is unanimously the best player in the league. Is he going to go out in the first round multiple times in his career? Then what do we look at from that perspective? And
then the new coach.
Stepping
into a very tough situation.
That is crazy.
So we'll see. And then is Jamal Murray going to? He should be back. Is he back?
I don't know. I asked that yesterday. Yeah, I don't know.
First game, I guess we'll see. But I know he took the last few games off in the regular season.
Hopefully to be ready for
I don't think he was on the injury report yesterday.
100,000% need him.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is an intriguing season. I mean, series.
Yeah.
You checking now?
Yeah.
While he's doing that, you're still on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. We're available on all all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. If you can do 2 things at once, Tony, also tell them what platforms you're on and the name and all of that good stuff.
Talking Game. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Spotify. Episodes every Monday. Have spot episodes throughout the week depending on what's going on, but you will get an episode every Monday night 9:00. Yeah, man.
You guys upload on TikTok.
I'm sorry.
That's what I catch.
My bad. TikTok. Everything's Talking Game. TikTok is Talking Game. Instagram, they was kind of hating on me, so that's Talking Game 1. Twitter is Talking Game.
Somebody beat you to it.
Yeah, somebody beat me to it. It's all
Instagram do
good.
a lot of hating though.
Yeah, man. But Instagram been showing love. TikTok low key been, I don't know. My views been kind of strange going on, but it's all good. YouTube, Talking Game. Make sure y'all like, subscribe. Those numbers been going up. So hey, man, everything's been good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The Heat are up by 27, by the way.
Nice.
Okay. You got Kobe saying that Magic and 5 with a crying emoji. Then he said he wants Trae Young.
Yeah, he's playing. Jamal Murray's playing Sunday.
And a Harden. What is this? A Harden over T-Mac.
Harden over T-Mac.
And then, Adam says, "Yeah, Miami clowning these fools right now." Yeah. Let's go here. All right, let's go. Let's go here. We're gonna come back to basketball. Matter of fact, let's stay basketball real quick. I just thought this was funny, real quick here. Steve Nash, of course, he's new with the LeBron on the
Mind
new
the
season
Game,
or whatever,
or
Mind the Game season 2 or whatever.
So wait, so they basically reconstituted the season and Nash has replaced
JJ.
and okay, all right.
Yeah. So right here
He's gonna get a job.
in a short clip, he answers LeBron's question on where he got his swagger from. He said, "Let's be real. I wanted to be black."
Is that why he let his ex-wife get knocked up?
Oh Lord.
Yo, that's the crazy. Yeah, Leandro Barbosa.
Yeah.
He ain't even know till the baby came out.
That's wild.
That's
man.
tough.
They just come out and see a dark baby.
Divorce papers in the morning.
Yo, that is wow.
Yeah, that's tough.
That is tough. Man.
That's a level. That's a level of zen because I've been in prison. Like nobody got hurt in that situation.
Yeah.
I lost my
At least
damn
Derek
eye.
Fisher and Matt Barnes, they pulled up on it. They pulled up on each other.
Yeah. You got to do something.
What if Matt drove like 95 miles?
Yeah.
Setting a record for lights.
You got to be real pissed off
Yo.
to stay mad.
To stay mad.
Yeah, for sure.
The whole time.
Come on,
Yeah.
man. And
Yeah,
I
you
smoke. So like after I done smoked halfway there, I'm like, shit.
It's
I really want to do this.
Yeah, I'm about to get something.
No, that's I respect.
I get something to eat.
I respect the anger, man. You're an hour and a half in the car. You're still ready to go.
Yeah, man, I'm cool, man.
Apparently, they're cool with each other now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Derek Fisher's coaching the
kids.
Twins
Yes.
in basketball. That's funny.
I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
I guess you don't got a choice, right?
No.
You gonna keep fucking
That's
with
kind of what he said, though. It's like, at the end of the day, it's like he's treating the kids well. It's what am I gonna do? Just stay mad forever and whatever, fight every time I see him. It's just at some point. Yeah, it is what it is.
All right, let's go here to this viral story that's going around. Of course, there's this teen track star here who was at a track meet, went to a tent, okay, got into an argument with another young white kid there. Eventually pulled a knife out his bag, stabbed him, left. Police found him. Yeah, I did it, and told him that it was out of self-defense. Okay, and my thing about this is I got a couple of things on this, but a lot of people, it's the perfect thing that me and Pink and I talks about a lot. You just have all the ingredients for this to go viral. You got the white and black thing. They're both essentially kids. Okay, so there's going to be a racial divide on this, no matter what. Okay, so a lot of people. I was on just Will Lee's post because he posted about it, and I just wanted to see what are people's temperament on it, and of course it was just divided. You got the black people on there saying, oh, they just couldn't wait to hang a black man and this and that, and and one guy was up under the latest comment is like, oh, you must be a steep Trump supporter because you like that they gave this boy whatever, that they're gonna hang this boy out to dry and this and that, and my thing is this everything. I just hate that everything turns into that. Like I just want it to be reserved for when it really matters. Oh yeah. Because this kid here, with everything I read, with everything I listened to, he's just completely out of pocket.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because the other kid didn't have any weapons on him. Is that am I wrong?
My understanding is this guy is occupying a space.
Yeah.
The white guy comes over and tells him to move.
Yes, and they get.
He tells him I got a knife, and the guy continues to get at him. This is a fuck around and find out moment.
No.
For me, it is. You could be different. I 100%. Like here's the thing. I've lived for many years, and I haven't been killed yet, and it might happen. But I do a lot of things to prevent myself from getting killed. The way I interact with people, the decisions I make and how I approach people, like that all matters. And if you want to just walk up on somebody for no rightful reason and kind of try to like bully them or whatever, and just assume that they're unarmed, and assumed that they're not going to do anything to you. Like that's not a safe way to live. That's not how I choose to live.
That's in the real, like, but these.
That's real shit.
It is. Don't get me wrong, but these are kids.
They're kids. They're not kids.
What are they?
They're high school people.
They're kids, but we gotta understand that
kids are 10 years old, 11 years old. These are high school people.
Young adults.
These guys got fucking issues. They've got tons of testosterone going. They are what they are.
We gotta start back raising our kids not to be afraid to take a ass whooping. Because he's gonna be gone for a considerable amount of time. He got blessed and didn't get the chair. That's the news today. But you gotta not be afraid to take a ass whooping. A kid walks up. He's not a grown ass man. A kid walks up to you, wants to bully you, wants to take anything. That happens in kids' lives. Okay, from day to day, middle school, high school. You can either walk away, let the man take your spot, or put up your dukes and take a ass whooping. What's so wrong with that? Why do you have to go pull a gun, pull a knife, all of that fucking foolishness? You know this man didn't have anything on him. You know he didn't have any weapons on him. Why did you have to pull a weapon without seeing a weapon? That's the same thing that we get mad about with police automatically pulling weapons out or pulling stuff out, batons and knives and stuff out when they know we don't have anything.
Wait. Now, the difference is the police pull guns on people, and we're not even engaging in physical activity.
They wasn't engaged in physical activity. All they was doing was talking.
But if you're approaching,
if you approach me and you're telling me to get out of some place that I'm occupied,
at some point
that's different.
I feel like you can swing at me, you can pop off at me. How bad do you want this spot? Because why do you want this spot this bad anyway?
Bro, this happens all the time. People are in the wrong movie seats. People are in the wrong, and I understand people can be nasty about it and all of that, but that happens like every single day.
It doesn't make it right, and sometimes you fuck around and find out.
And now you're going to be in prison.
Yeah.
That's not even that's
but you're
silly.
But you're
silly.
equating like different things.
I'm not. You're going to prison. Because you pulled the knife out your bag when you could have fought and just took an ass whipping because apparently you can't fight. I know that.
There's an argument that he should not go to prison at all.
Yeah.
This is self-defense.
Self-defense? Yeah, that's what they're saying.
By the law.
No, bullshit.
By the law, yeah.
No, bullshit, because by the law it is.
How?
Because you are approaching me and you're threatening me. I have the right under the law to stand my ground and exercise force. I don't know what the fuck you have or don't have. I don't know if your twin brother whose arms you just died in is also going to jump in if this gets physical. I don't know any of that. I know you're in my face causing a problem. That's what I know. And then you talk about self-defense and you talk about race and the criminal justice system. That Kyle Rittenhouse motherfucker didn't do anything. He killed 2 unarmed people who were doing shit to him.
Yeah. What I want to do is separate this from all of that.
You can't.
Because
We're in America.
Not the same.
We're in America.
It's not the same, man.
No, because race has to have something to do with it.
I'm not saying race. I'm saying those situations where there was wrongdoing surrounding race and surrounding whatever. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is all this was a kid being bullied that did not want to take an ass whooping.
But how you know how many times he's been bullied?
And again, this taking an ass whooping thing, I don't ascribe to that at all. Like I'm not taking an ass whooping. Like that's not. If I can retreat and get out of a dangerous situation, that's what I do.
I said that too.
But if
I said just leave.
And I get that, and I don't disagree with you with that. But if it's coming to fighting, you fight to win, and winning is killing.
He didn't have to fight. If he's not a fighter, because what he's telling me is he's not a fighter. If the first sign of an argument is that you pull a knife out and you stab a guy to death, that's telling me you're not a fighter, and that's fine.
That is fine.
Everybody doesn't have to be a fighter.
Yeah.
Just motherfucking leave. Go get an adult. All you have to do is say, all right, man. Oh, you got it. All right, man. Yeah. Go get an adult. Hey, yeah. This is my spot. Why do you have to engage? Why? If you know you're not a fighter. You rather kill somebody? You rather take somebody out off this planet? That's wrong to me. That's not right. And I think it's soft, and I think it's just not the way to be, man. That's just crazy to me. If that's how it went down, I'm privy to the information that I read and was told. And if it wasn't any more wrinkles, if it wasn't a fucking, 380 sticking out of this white guy's, pants or whatever, all right, then
the other guy could have walked away too. The other guy could have walked away too, and he didn't.
Yeah, I understand he played a part,
a big part.
But let's throw him in jail for 30 days or something. Not kill him.
Keep his coffin in jail for 30 days.
Damn, kill him.
Wait, I mean,
I'm not saying that it's right, but by law.
And then what if he really thought that spot was his? He's not here to let us know. Like, what if he really thought? You know how many times you are at events and stuff, and you really think like this spot is yours.
But see, the devil is in the details, and I think you're ignoring a lot of the details. I don't think this guy peacefully comes over and goes, "Hey man, you're in my spot."
No, I'm sure he's a shitty person. I'm sure.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm not just saying that in jest. I'm sure.
Yeah. And that's why I have no problem with this. I have no problem. I have zero problems. Man. And I'm going to go one further.
You have no problem with this, but you can't watch Dahmer? What's the fucking difference? He's got there with the knife in the show, and he's doing this. They're the same guy.
I'm not saying I want to watch it. I'm not saying I want to watch it. I'm not saying I want to be at this track meet and watch this happen.
Damn, so dumb.
But I'm just simply saying, I'm sure this guy comes over as an asshole. I'm sure he is an asshole.
Yes.
And I don't have
Probably was raised by assholes.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with him. He had every bit of opportunity as the other guy to walk away, and he didn't. And sometimes you got to live with those decisions, and I'm okay with that. And I'm not saying under the circumstances.
You learned that at a young age, man. Hey, it's a lesson. Goddamn.
It's his last lesson.
Shit, man.
The last one.
You graduated from stupid school.
I seen.
Damn, that's tough.
Here's your cap and gown.
Yo, so
life is tough though.
Go ahead, you got something.
But wait, I want to say something else.
Yeah.
Like again, the publicity of taking the death penalty off. This is a self-defense situation. And there's a scenario in a self-defense situation where maybe you could conclude that the force or whatever was excessive. This is not and should never be a long-term prison sentence. Maybe under the circumstances, say, hey, you probably didn't have to go that far. I'm not comfortable with that being legal. When weighing the full context of what was said and what was done. And then so maybe we give this guy a couple years probation, whatever. But again, that's where the black and white thing is inescapable in America. People are defending this guy because they know the consequence of what's going to happen. The big announcers were not going to get the death penalty. This is not a death penalty case.
No.
This isn't premeditated murder, waiting outside, killing a guy, fucking eating his brains. This is not first degree murder. This is self-defense. This is what it is. Even if it's imperfect self-defense, it's probation, small jail sentence.
For sure.
Make it make sense. That's what it is.
What hood is this guy in that he has to bring a knife to school every goddamn day?
You never know.
What
you don't know.
Or you don't know how much he might have been bullied for real though.
Yeah.
Like this might not have been his first time being fucked with.
And that makes it even softer.
You know what I'm saying?
That makes it even fucking softer for me.
I got a question though. If the roles were the races were reversed, would the kid even get charges?
No. That's real. No.
Of course, I think he gets charges.
You think so?
Yeah, maybe in a different time frame he doesn't. But there's too
I
much.
don't.
There's too much going on right now.
Because honestly, like all bullshit aside, this is for white people. This is self-defense all the time.
Yeah.
And it's not even going to be looked at any different.
And what? I understand.
Bro, what? Hold on, wait. We've literally seen.
That's not.
We've literally seen white. We've literally seen cases of white people shooting people on the other side of the door, coming to get their stuff, and they're getting self-defense. You have these cases. You have cases all the time. White people get away with stuff. I always say there's nothing wrong with the law. It's just the law works different for different people.
Well, the law is unjust, is what it is. The execution of the law in terms of prosecution and sentencing is not equitable at all. It's race-driven. That's a fact. And that's why you have these outcomes. I think it's 100% reasonable to, if this was race reversed.
I don't see how, man.
Yeah,
I don't see
that
how.
white kid would have walked.
I think the house thing is totally
or think
different.
about think about
face-to-face altercation.
Okay, so what about remember when riots was going on and white kid in Wisconsin? He literally goes to another state and shoots people.
Yeah.
And doesn't get charged.
No charges.
This is what I'm saying.
In a riot, he kills 2 people in cold blood.
He deputized himself.
Yeah.
What is going on? Come on now.
If this is a white kid, he gets nothing.
He gets nothing. They're calling it self-defense and boo-hoo. I think, honestly, the only thing that's saving this guy right now is them raising all this money for him to get like better defense and more publicity.
So showing the interest in publicity, so you can't just
money talks.
Yeah, you can't.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if you got good enough attorneys, that's how you got the bail reduction. You know what I'm saying? Low level attorneys ain't making that shit happen.
Yeah, the longer you draw this out and the longer you have to paint the narrative stories and have the resources to do that, then you can mitigate this by the longer you have to tell this kid's story. Why he was, felt the need to carry a knife, why he felt threatened by this particular guy. You have a better chance, and the money helps you buy that time.
He needs to be in prison for a really long time, and I just can't see how people don't understand that. Who's fucking carrying around a knife in their backpack every day?
Probably a lot of people.
Just because.
Probably a lot of people are.
How many kids?
A lot of kids.
You seen it more, and honestly, I'm surprised it ain't a gun.
Because there's no longer. And for many years, there's not a notion of fighting with fists. You don't know.
They do it all the time.
But you never know
and they
what
should
you're walking
do it
into.
More.
You don't know
Kids
what you're walking into
all the time. No, that's adults, man. That's
not
on an adult level. Kids fight all the time.
Yeah, up until they about 13, 14.
I encourage kids to fight more because there's always conflict as kids. Always. There's always something going on. Adults face less of those type of situations, way less of those situations than kids, because kids are shitty. But kids are shitty in a youthful way. This is not anything major. You know what I mean? He's not this is nuts, man.
Not for me.
This is nuts.
That's the reality though, man. These kids,
not even close.
These kids carry, I said, I'm surprised it wasn't a gun.
They just had a big melee at Evans.
Yes.
All hood kids, all in the trap, all in fucking. They live in the where fucking roaches and rats roll across their toenails every night. There was no knife or gun and nowhere in sight. There's 40 against 40 kids that's fighting it out. Yes, just fight it out. Tomorrow we'll be okay. We get ISS. There's no fucking caskets rolling down Pine Hills Road. Come on, man. We don't need this. Why you gotta stab a mother? That's soft. Where your hands at, man? You're young. Where are your hands? Or walk away. It's okay. If you don't want to fight, it's okay. It's okay. I didn't fight until college. That's not true. I had to fight in Edenville. But regardless of any of that, you don't have to fight. There was other kids that did not fight. Walk away, get an adult. That's fine. But to feel like you have to carry a knife everywhere you go, something is wrong. Something is wrong. And that's
no, there's definitely something wrong. Nobody's disputing that. There's a reason why he feels that.
Something's wrong up here.
Could be.
It's not he doesn't have anything to feel in here because he doesn't have any of this. It's all up here. And anybody up here, it needs to be institutionalized. Put him in a mental house then. Put him somewhere. He doesn't need to be. Sending him home and sending him back to school with what, the same knife? Who's going to stab next? The guy who takes his lunch tray? What are you guys talking about, man? He's just gonna let a guy back on the streets he just got off from stabbing this white kid who wanted to take the tent. What's next? He knows, damn, I can stab a motherfucker to death if they do anything to me.
By the law,
you talking about?
I mean, by the law, you doing those things, you can.
Well, let him out then and just fuck it. Send him to your kids and just take your kids.
Leave him alone.
Don't be shitty. Yeah.
The moral of the story, leave that man alone.
Yeah, just don't be a shitty kid because that kid gonna stab you to death. Yeah, don't take his lunch tray. Come on, man. I don't understand.
There's always been people like that.
I can't wrap my head around it.
There's always been people like that. When you're in school, when you're in situations, there's always people that you just don't fuck with. There's people that you can fight, and then the next day you're friends again or whatever. I never felt that
they were going to take me off of this planet Earth. Never thought that. As a kid, I never felt like any other kid was going to kill me. Never.
I never.
As a kid.
Yeah, I never ruled it out.
Ruled it out. I'm talking about fear.
No, but see, it's not how I process things. But like
that's because you're a normal person. This kid is not a normal kid.
I'm not here to say he's normal, but we're also ignoring whatever the fuck went on to get to that point.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he needs to be somewhere, not home, on probation.
Maybe, whatever. I don't know. Again, like, what happened? Like, what is the history of these two guys? What is the history of this kid?
We're gonna find out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe he gets no time. And then
he's getting some time. You're on the right side of that.
I hope so. I hope so. All right, you're still on the bench with Bub and Pink. Let's go here. Let's get to some college stuff here. Okay, we'll switch gears a little bit and go to some college stuff. So you got the NFL draft coming up, of course. And you got this Colorado piece, man. Shout out to Dion and those guys. Travis Hunter is saying he'd rather not ever play football again if he only has to play one side of the ball. And then you got the jersey retirement of Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders, both numbers being retired for Colorado. Never mind that, Cordell Stewart and all those guys who did more.
Yeah.
Jersey is not retired.
So the only other Colorado Heisman winner was Rashawn Salam, right?
I believe that sounds about right.
I don't know if his jersey's retired or not. I don't have.
No, these are the first two and only two.
Okay, I don't have a problem retiring a Heisman Trophy winner's jersey
at all.
I do like the timing of it, like literally before he gets drafted, is a little odd for me. I mean, like, let it run a little bit and bring him back and create a moment that way. I would be more in favor of that. I don't do that. Shedeur, I do feel differently about. Again, they were 13-12 while he was there as the starting quarterback. He put up some stats, but there's very little team accomplishments to that. And so I don't really feel that that's, readily justifiable. I'm a big totality guy. So I do think that, like, if Shedeur goes on and has like a Hall of Fame level career for Colorado or Jackson State to invite him back and retire his number to facilitate that, that relationship, I don't have a problem with it. But it feels a little contrived to retire these two numbers right now.
I'm not mad at the Travis Hunter, like you said. Heisman winners, but not having any, and like you said, 13-12.
Yeah.
Yeah. No bowl wins, only one bowl game, and then you don't show up in that. Everybody could have stayed home. And then you think about the people that could have their jersey retired. Cordell, Salam, Eric Bieniemy. He won championships there.
Well, they're not going to do it with Eric because of the trouble he got in college.
Well,
but,
true.
But yes, the one thing, because I'm on both sides of it. Number one, it's their college. I guess they can retire whoever the hell they want to retire and have whatever reasoning for it, right? Every school is different, and I know at bigger schools they decide not to do it as much because it's like that. We'll end up retiring every number. We'll have no numbers left. Yeah. So I understand Colorado side. We only had a few special players and this and that and whatever. But so we can all agree, like maybe Travis. You could sell me on Travis, but maybe bad timing. The Shedeur things it feels like it's like, oh well, Dion's here. We want to make Dion happy. So here you go, Shedeur. We'll retire yours too.
Well, that's an interesting point too. Is like
retire
why is this happening?
Yeah.
Is this something that Dion put up and they agreed? Is this something that they feel insecure with their relationship with Dion and they're going to kind of initiate on their own to make him feel special or wanted or whatever? It feels like there's some other motive here
some other motive
than just a traditional retiring the number of a great player. Because again, the dudes have literally not left. Like, I mean, they're not, they haven't been drafted yet. They haven't played an NFL game, and we're already retiring jerseys. It feels just kind of weird and unnecessary.
And then think about it, like, what's the new quarterback there, Julian? What's his last name, Lewis or whatever?
Julian Lewis. Yeah.
Like, what if he just breaks every record? There, right?
And
like
way better than
like
Shedeur.
you got to retire my jersey now, right? Like, what's going on? Like, what if he goes to the playoffs? Like, you if I go to the playoffs, you got to retire my shit.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it is weird.
If we go to the playoffs, I want you to bring Shedeur's number down. I want his number now.
I think
Facts.
And Rashawn Salam has passed away, didn't he?
That's a good question.
I
I haven't
think he
heard that
passed
name
away.
in so long. So like,
I want to
that's
say
another thing.
he died pretty early, and he's no longer with us. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just a lot of like better ways to go about this. Like even like again, particularly if Rashawn Salam has passed away, which I believe to be accurate. Like, join him, make it a tri-jersey thing, and you kind of connect old Colorado, new Colorado, and kind of recognize a guy who's passed
like
away.
that.
You make it more about the whole institution and history of the program than these two rental guys for 2 years.
Yeah. Now on the other side, about what do you guys think about Travis Hunter's comment about leaving the sport altogether if he's not able to play both sides of the ball?
nigga, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I say that on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had one guy dropped about 40 of them.
Okay. Oh, it turned into Django.
We've had a few Django nights here. Yak Talk might hold the record.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Yeah, gonna drop him.
But I think, like, again, this is. He actually seems like kind of an immature guy, kind of a fun-loving guy. I don't find him to be like super serious guy. Just doesn't seem to be his personality. Maybe I'm wrong, but this just feels to me this is his way of doubling down on this is what I am, this is what I intend to do, and if you're gonna draft me, you need to let me do this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have an interest in coming to camp and being told I need to play corner, I need to play wide receiver, and that's all I'm gonna do. So I don't have a problem with it. I get where your sentiment's coming from, but I do think that this is almost like a political move with the draft approaching, and just a reiteration. This is my intent. I'm coming to the league to play two sides of the ball full time.
I agree with that, but I also think if they say you about to play cornerback, he's not about to not play. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But I do think that's what that was the whole thing of him actually saying this out loud. Yeah. It's like, all right, we're almost there. Just a reminder.
Yeah,
I play cornerback and wide receiver, but if Cleveland drafts him and he signs that signing bonus, be like, all right, so cornerback, wide receiver, now, he's gonna play.
As of right now, and it's broke today, only one team has came out and publicly said they'll allow him to play both sides of the ball, and that's the Giants. They just came out today and said,
okay,
yeah. So it'd be interesting if more teams follow suit, or if they just let that be in the background. But yeah, they came out and said it, and they have what, the third
pick, so they have to get over to Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland. All signs are pointing towards the defensive end as of right now.
Yeah, Carter.
But who knows? Yeah.
I wonder, like, for Travis Hunter, everybody talk about the durability, and that's important too, but you have to really work to be a great NFL player. Even be a good NFL player, right? We've seen top picks not pan out. How can he, like, improve to be where he needs to be or where he expects to be splitting time? Like, this ain't college.
He kind of in his way explained it, talking about, well, you take 6 to 8 hours of sleep and everything else is football.
But practice time is still practice time, right? So, like, how are you going to get first team reps when they're doing ones against ones?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, if an organization is committed to doing this, they will accommodate the practice.
Yeah, they'll make it work. And again, there has been guys that have played both sides of the ball, just not like predominantly in starting. But if you think about it, like the Deion Branches and Deion Sanders and those guys, they had to have had practice on both sides of the ball. But I know he wants to do it a lot more than those guys did, so it has to look different. But I think it can be done. And I think somebody will do it, whether it's this guy or not, I don't know. But we progress as humans, and people like these athletes, man, they get more and more crazy. And what's funny is I said this in the middle of last year. There was this hype stemming up for the Ohio State guy, for Jeremiah. And I remember he was at the White House, I don't know, today or yesterday or something. You saw that? Yeah. And he was like, and Trump was like, your coach said you're training to be the greatest of all time. And then the question became like, so who would you take? And everybody between Jeremiah and Travis, and everybody's like, yeah, Jeremiah. I was just like, that's crazy. I think because Travis is he's the type of level of athlete I just haven't seen in a supremely long time. Like, it takes, for what he does is and what he has done so far, it takes such a special type of athlete to do it, even just on the collegiate level.
For sure.
And I think 1,000% they have to give him the opportunity to do it at the next level. They just like fucking have to.
But I just think about like how Cam Newton described it. I'm gonna use a different tandem. But, he's going to play defense against, let's say, what's your boy in Denver, Sutton, right? And then go run routes against Patrick Surtain II. And you haven't dedicated your time and your training to be elite at one thing.
Well, the one thing is he needs more work at receiver than he does cornerback. But all indication points towards he's going to start out as a receiver. But he does need work at receiver. I mean, a lot of the receivers who are out and the receiver coaches and things like that have talked about it and pointed at certain things and his route running and things like that. Receiver takes a while in NFL to get anyway. Like there are not a ton of rookie receivers that come out and just kill. Outside of here and there.
It is both roles. They're a craft. You're going to have to work on it. Yeah. You're going to learn through repetition, through film study, in all those ways. Now, is he going to be dedicated enough in his personal habits to allocate the time to do both? And obviously the team that drafts him should have the structural organization to facilitate happening so that you give him a chance. But he won't do it exactly like other people did it. And I know, I've listened a little bit to some Julian Edelman clips, and he actually played some DB for the Patriots very briefly at different times. And he kind of said, my being a receiver and knowing what I needed to do, helped me in my limited defensive role because I basically knew exactly what the guy's trying to do. And he's going to be learning it from this symbiotic dynamic of both sides. He'll pick up things differently, and it'll not multiply. I don't know. The dynamic of it will just be different than studying exclusively on one. Mm-hmm. He'll find things on each side that are going to help him on the other side that nobody else is doing. It doesn't mean he's going to be better than everybody else, but the dynamic of his learning and improvement and development is just going to be different than any player who's literally just committed to one side of the ball and doing that. You can do that. I mean, there's a big school of thought that the general trend toward athletic specialism at young ages is not the greatest thing in the world. Whether you're talking about just being a basketball guy, a soccer guy, football guy, that when you participate, particularly young, you learn just a lot about your body, movement, different things that you can, in that infant stage, kind of connect to your development in specific fields. And I just think he's kind of taking that model and pushing it to the highest level. It's just a different journey. I think he'll be a really special player, but I don't think we're ever going to sit here and say at any point in his career that he's the best receiver we've ever seen or the best corner he's ever seen. That's probably impossible the way he's going about this. But, can he be a value add guy on both sides of the ball, make something special for his team? That's not off the table. Yeah. And I think that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Saves you a roster spot too.
Can have an extra backup offensive lineman.
There you go.
On game day.
Get that third quarterback in there.
Chiefs could have used that. All right. On to some HBCU news here, man. Charlie Ward, man. Charlie Ward. They say he's 54. Not sure how much that matters at all. But the two-sport,
yeah. Oh, okay.
The two-sport star and Heisman Trophy winner has finalized a deal to become FAMU's next men's basketball coach. Okay, we've seen the push on the football side with these former guys. Now you have Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson. They've taken their first go-around as HBCU football coach, okay? And now you have some basketball going on here, man. Charlie Ward taking his first stab. It'd be interesting to see if he's going to be the pioneer for more basketball guys to come over.
It will be. Now, I know, like, at Bethune, you guys had Reggie Theus, right?
Yes.
Now, he's an established NBA guy, whatever.
Guy.
But his appointment there kind of predated what we feel this, like, movement is.
Yeah.
And so Charlie Ward feels like the first basketball guy who's part of this movement amongst HBCUs to really lock in with some accomplished professional people. So I'm rooting for him. He was a legend at Florida State when I was there. I mean, just almost a mythical character. And I certainly wish him the best. And he's been in Tallahassee coaching at Florida High for the last couple years. So, I mean, he's very connected. He's from Thomasville, Georgia, right over the border from Tallahassee in Georgia. And but I was talking to Bub. I think the interesting thing is, like, most people who are the age that would be playing for him probably have, like, very little idea of what he accomplished. It'd be very interesting. Again, he's 54. He's not super young. And it'd be interesting to see how he connects and relates with players.
When you talk about Florida State athletics, is he on Mount Rushmore?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And that's fairly easy?
Yeah, for me. Yeah. I mean, I think he's our first Heisman Trophy winner. So Mount Rushmore, I'd put Dion.
Okay.
Charlie Ward, probably Jameis, and maybe Peter Warwick.
Okay.
Just off the cuff, those.
Did Charlie Ward play baseball too?
Not at the college level.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I always talk about
I said FAMU athletics, but you gave. I meant Florida State athletics, but you gave me all football. But that's fine.
Yeah. What other sport are we trying to do?
I don't know. I mean, you tell me.
And you got to think, Jameis and Dion played baseball too.
There are none. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, we got with those four guys, we got through 3 sports.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two football, baseball, and Dion ran track too.
Okay.
And then Charlie was football, basketball.
Yeah.
So we actually covered quite a few sports.
There you go.
And playing multiple sports should get you on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. So, but a lot of guys. Florida State has a pretty rich tradition of guys playing multiple sports. Currently, we have one of our young wide receivers, playing on the baseball team and playing a meaningful role. And one of our other young wide receiver running back type guys, he's actually had a really good ACC track season, running the 400 meters, which is a lot of times with the football, the standard is the 40-yard dash. You'd figure maybe a 100-meter guy, but he's a distance speed guy at 400 meters. And that's pretty impressive, Micah Danzy.
Buster Posey went there too, didn't he?
Baseball, yeah.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, you said you were there somewhere similar to the same time as Charlie?
Same exact time. My freshman year, he was our punter. And then my senior year and my first year of law school, he was the starting quarterback.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you catch a lot of games even though you were at the law school? Okay.
Every game. I didn't miss a home football game until probably 5 or 6 years after I graduated from law school.
Okay.
Because I maintained season tickets. The only reason I stopped going to home games at that time was that, like, my kids started to get active in sports of their own when they were like 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah.
And so now, you got a Saturday game. I can't drive to Tallahassee and do that. We gotta give you a shot to play.
You got any take on it, Tony?
I love it. I think this may be more active in the basketball realm because it's D1.
Yeah.
So you still get a chance at the tournament. You can win a national championship.
Yeah.
From HBCU in basketball.
That is the difference. That's a great point, actually.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, you can really get these kids where in football you're not playing D1 ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not playing. You get to go play Miami.
Not gonna
and
lie,
get smacked by 70.
I'm kind of pissed. I didn't come up with that.
Really?
It's a great point. It's actually like a tear coming to my eye. No, because that's the point I'm supposed to be making up there. That's why I'm here, and I'm not making it. So that's not fair.
Hey,
go ahead.
It's all good, man.
Yeah,
it's all good. That's why you brought me
Yeah,
here.
that is.
That is what you brought me here.
There you
for.
go. There you go.
But yeah, I think that'll open up the floodgates for more coaches that'll want to go there. I've always said that. I'm surprised that more basketball players, black top 100 prospects, don't go to the HBCUs more. But I mean, I understand the facilities and the money and all that. That makes a big difference. But unlike football, you still playing D1 ball. They'll change the schedule if you're good enough. Like, I'm sure BYU schedule is gonna be crazy next year.
Yeah, for sure.
For
You know what I'm saying? Like, so
they can get
with basketball, the eyes follow the talent.
Yeah, you can work your way into like the Maui Invitation.
Yeah,
if you have high profile players like that, for sure. That's a good point.
That's another thing.
Well, there was a guy. He had an African name. He was like a 5-star guy, and he went to Howard.
Yeah,
but he kind of like. I think he fell off the map, and I don't know. But y'all remember?
I remember exactly what you're talking about because that was such a big deal.
And around the same time, one of the guy's sons also went to HBCU at that same time. It was like one of those former NBA players. It was around the same time because it was two of them.
Son went.
Somebody. One of the former NBA guys' sons that went to HBCU to play basketball.
Okay. But I literally have no idea what happened to that.
Yeah.
Like if he transferred or left or had a quiet, underwhelming career at Howard, I don't know. Yeah. But that's that it is. And again, just the dynamics of basketball, like, one guy or two guys, except for if you're at Rutgers, can make so much difference.
Yeah. And if you get Travis Hunter's, equivalent.
Yeah.
To HBCU basketball team.
Yeah. I mean, if Cooper Flagg decided to go to, whatever, Valparaiso, they would have
go to Murray State.
Yeah.
You're like, how they number 10 in the country?
It's
Cooper Flagg's here.
Yeah,
that's it. And then and think about it too, like with the transfer portal too, right? So like if you could get like a few top 100 guys, and then you get like a couple of 4 or 5 stars that weren't happy where they are,
Cooper's going over here, and then I can easily get a whatever.
You know what I'm saying?
A starting spot too.
Yeah, you can change the fortune of a team real quick.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. All right, you're still on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. Let's go here. We got a couple quick ones here. I want to give a shout out to my guy, man.
He's renting for 200 residents in Florida housing project.
Yeah, and it's not the first time he's done it. He's done it several times. There was this guy who was on IG talking about it. It's like, Kodak doesn't want any praise for it, but he just did this, and he does it pretty often here.
So
and that's
this
not
was
even
disclosed by somebody other than Kodak.
Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah. Everything, because he does the things for the kids. He's done that for like 10 years in a row. All the kids in his city for the when they're going back to school, he provides all of the school supplies. That's when he got into it
and all that
with Master
stuff.
P. Yeah. Because of that. But he does that as well. And my overall point to it, because it's just a quick thing here, is again, I still think everything he's doing is a show, it's a facade for the most part. But I do think he can get stuck in this character. Now some people think it's real, and he's drugged out, and he can't do anything to help himself. Again, I think it's a show. I think it's a facade. I think he does use his drugs, but like all the other young rappers, I don't think he's whatever
any more out of control
than it. Yeah. I think he's more in control.
Is this place in South Florida where he did this, or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Down there. You good?
Have you ever, okay.
Go ahead.
When we say it's like a facade, have you ever like caught an interview, a clip of anything that kind of suggested that there's like another personality that he has?
I was about to say, because he looked like this is him.
But you know what I'm saying? Like some interview or something, even just a clip where he just seemed to have a different demeanor and different whatever than what we see normally from him.
No.
Okay.
Well, no. Yes, and no. But it depends. Now, like I say, for the past couple of years, it's been the exact same.
Yeah.
But the best interviewers, they get the best out of him. It's not easy. It's not easy, man. He doesn't make it easy on you. So you got that. But you know, he was on Casanat stream. He was wilding out.
Man, that's
like,
that glitch for the Twitch.
he wilding out. Man.
Doing drugs on the stream.
He's
man.
a wild guy. He's a wild guy. But again, I think it's and why he chooses his character and is doing it that way, I have no idea. Like, and one way I know it is because they made this big thing about when he was on the street and was eating the chicken. Did you see that?
Yes.
And he was looking crazy, like he was like drugged out. But that was a music video. But he never
Cleared it up. Yeah.
Cleared it up. He never told anybody that's what it like. Never. He just let everybody think. Yeah, he was like literally in the middle of the street.
Fair point. That question.
Chicken. You know what I mean?
Do
Crazy.
you recall any instance in his public life where he has ever made an attempt to clear something up?
No.
That's interesting.
No, he don't clear nothing up. Even with the sexual abuse allegations, nothing.
Just lets it ride.
Yeah, he just lets it ride. The Lori London thing, nothing.
Yeah.
No. Whatever you think is what you think.
I'll respect that a lot. I honestly do. Like I hate the public apology.
Yeah.
And just like, you know, especially when you just feel it's not coming from a place of genuine remorse.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but there's a cycle. It's like, okay, say something stupid or inappropriate, succumb to public pressure, issue apology, you know, act remorseful for a period of time until all is forgotten. It's just like this weird, you know, wash, rinse, and repeat cycle that doesn't feel authentic at all. So credit to him for that.
Okay. And then really another really quick one here is say prisoners in Brazil can reduce their sentence by 4 days for every book they read and write a review about.
That's cool.
I like it a lot.
You like it a lot?
Oh yeah. There's tremendous power in reading.
Yeah.
And if you think a lot of like even a guy like Malcolm X, like when he was in prison and he like one of the things he read, he learned, he like came out a better man. I mean, it's extremely difficult, but it's possible. And again, if you incentivize the right things, like you have a chance. I just love this from a societal point.
Yeah.
You know, we don't often reward the right behaviors. And, you know, if you've kind of flipped the paradigm and do that, you know, the change you can get to is significant over time. And again, we end up fighting over so much bullshit and we reward behavior that's not good and not productive. We like make millionaires out of shit celebrities that don't have a genuine talent. But when you find, you know, programs and things that are like, yeah, well, this is going to actually make people better, like these need to be applauded.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's a form of rehabilitation. Like you throw these people in cages and then like let them out after a certain amount of years and expect them to be able to function in society normally. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's not, you know, reading a book ain't gonna just change their life. But like you said, I think about Malcolm X as like somebody I like really like studying and looked into. Reading changed his whole life, changed his perspective on life, changed, you know, your mind is your strongest muscle, I feel like.
I think that the life of Malcolm X is the quintessential American story. He lived an American life. He was an extremely bright kid. He was in the school. He did well, but he wasn't rewarded for that. He, you know, ended up getting into like street life and street things. Ended up in jail. Found reconnection to education. Rebuilt himself when he's released. Becomes a, you know, tremendous public figure, orator, motivational person. All these great things, and then in the end, he's killed by America. It's the American story. It's not always a happy ending.
No,
It's not like the Asian massage parlor.
That was better than my joke. I was gonna say maybe we should send the teen track star over there to Brazil.
Oh Lord.
Live out his chest. Read some books and get out early. All right.
But we battled on that quite a bit, and you know, but I don't know the depth of this guy's issues. But if he's just thrown away with a hopeless sentence and no elements of rehabilitation, the story for him is over. And if he's given an opportunity, and maybe it's to see light at the end of a certain tunnel and, you know, provided with resources to better himself, then there's a chance. And like, we have to lean into creating the chance and not the hopelessness. And whether it's him, whether it's everybody, we have to do that. We are shooting ourselves in the foot every time we don't. We're creating and raising idiots, people that are incompetent and unfit to do anything, from an intelligence standpoint, from an emotional standpoint. And the more we allow that to be the norm in our society, the worse off we are.
Well fucking said. I want that clipped up for my TikTok.
100%. I was going to go for the last topic somewhere. It's a rapper named TK, and he was sentenced to 80 years. And
but he already had life or something, though, right?
Yeah.
Just time on top of it.
And I was going to talk about it from the judge's perspective, so I'll just sum it up, because she was talking about, I see that your mom and your dad is not here, and I know you had a rough life growing up, and this and that.
This is like a speech at the sentencing from the judge?
From the judge, yeah.
Okay.
Because he committed murder when he was 16. He killed this other person here when he was 16. And, definitely did it. And then he made a rap song about it. And then he made a rap song about him being on the run. And
did he disclose locations of where he was running?
It went extremely viral. He blew up as a rapper, artist, as a young guy, 16, 17. But he actually did commit that exact same murder that was in the song. And now he gets arrested for it. Now, the whole, so now people are saying, hey, he's really 16. You give 16-year-old 80 years, murder, this and that. But instead, because it takes longer to get all the way into that, and to roll that out. So instead, I'll tell you a much weaker and more boring story. But it's just so
teased us and let us down.
It's just so interesting to me, man, because I was at LA Fitness, man. I was in the sauna, and this guy walks in, and he has this older, like, German guy, but he has one leg, right? Oh. And so we're in there, so he got the one real leg, and then he got the whole leg is just mechanical.
Oh, he had the prosthetic.
Yeah, prosthetic.
That goes all that has a prosthetic foot too. Like
all of that.
Okay.
The whole shebang.
Okay.
And and it goes down. And we're in there, and he walks in. You know when a guy's gonna be talking to him, because he walks in. He's like, "Hey, how's everybody doing?" And he's one of those guys.
Yeah, right off the bat.
And,
I don't like those guys. When I'm in the sauna, I like to be quiet, man. I
want the sauna to be completely quiet. But, he's one of those guys, and he walks in, and then he starts having like a random conversation, because the other guy was talking about sports, so we're talking, and of course you want to ask, I want to ask, and instead what he does is he gets a roundabout conversation, and he gets to it, right? Because he finally gets to it. He's like, yeah, then my leg. He was like, because he was talking about him being in the war. So I'm like, oh, damn, he lost his leg in the war, because he's talking about being in the war. And he was like, yeah, and it's so ironic that I didn't even lose my leg by being in the war. And I'm like, yes, he's finally going to get to it. Because I don't want to be the one to ask. I don't want to ask. He probably gets asked all the time. And he says that what's crazy about it is he got hit by a car by this lady who just wasn't paying attention at all on the road. She was either on the phone or just wasn't paying attention.
After his wartime service.
Yeah, after his wartime service. Like, this fucking could have happened to, like, anybody. It's so crazy. Yeah. And then the lady, she was poor. She didn't have any money, any assets or nothing. So he lost a leg and didn't get a dime for it. Yeah. Didn't get a dime because she doesn't have a dime. So it's like nothing he could get. And all of that. And he says the only thing, like, she showed up to the hospital with a bag of ice.
Bag of ice.
But she didn't know, like, he lost his leg. She just know she hit somebody.
Then what was the ice?
What's the ice going on? Man, put this on the ice.
A bag of ice and a gallon of sweet tea? Like, what are we doing?
He said she came to the hospital with a bag of ice, and he never heard from her again. But that's nuts. Yeah. Like, how pissed I would be. He's like all this, I'm so blessed because I'm still here and alive. I'll be so pissed.
I'm missing a leg, motherfucker.
So pissed just because a lady wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
She's not in jail. Nothing happens to her.
He must have been in the road or something.
Yeah, I mean, he was. They were at a stoplight.
I don't think he was sitting on the couch at home.
They were at a stoplight, and he was just sitting on a motorcycle. So he wasn't like riding. He wasn't in motion.
Right.
He stopped.
Okay.
And you got the one leg down. You know what I mean?
And she hit him probably behind. Like he wasn't paying attention. Hit him from behind.
No, it was like one of those things where it went like this. Like
T-bone.
Like
okay.
And with his leg down.
But he was stopped.
How though?
That's weird to get.
I don't know in what part of the road they were at.
Yeah, that's weird.
Or if they were in Germany or not. I don't know. Like I don't know how the roads are set up.
I was clipped on the Autobahn.
But that's nuts, man. That's tough.
I can't imagine.
It's super tough. But like the weird thing is like. A lot of times people that endure like a really tragic thing, like it builds a strength in them. I mean, and like, again, he probably like whatever in the dark recesses of this moment, like probably contemplated suicide, probably contemplated a lot of dark things. And somewhere in that journey just reached the point where it's just like, I am alive. Like I can either sulk and pout and be miserable for whatever amount of days I have left, or I can
hop up and have a good time.
Yeah. I mean, it's, there's that corny, like you see some people like, they'll be like, Jews happy. And like, it feels corny, but like when I think about it, there's a truth to it.
Yeah.
Like whatever happens to us, like we have a choice of how we react to it. Like that's our choice. We can literally be depressed about it and go, go to really bad places, or we could just say like, okay, I can't change it now. The only thing I can change is tomorrow, and just live your life that way. And I don't know. I mean, I credit to him for doing that, and I think it's like I said, if I lose a finger, like I'm out. Like kill me. I'm a
No. I like your line of when you're no longer able to play basketball or screw.
That's it. I'm done. I've outlived my purpose.
Like I've done it all.
I did it all.
Can no longer do it anymore of substance.
Yeah, that's it. There's nothing else that I want to do that I can do. Everything else is stuff that I just have to do. So I don't want to be here for that. Yeah. So no, I stand on that for sure. But yeah, no, I mean there is a power to positive thinking and approaching situations, in that way. So credit to him. Were you inspired, Bubba?
No, not inspired. I was pissed for him.
Really?
He's like, don't worry, I got the anger for you, buddy.
She's out here roaming around with 2 legs.
2 legs.
Texting and driving as a 50-year-old woman. Women, you can barely drive with 2 hands on the wheel and 4 eyes. You think you're going to be texting and not paying attention and going on and think you're going to not hit somebody?
Just walking around chilling.
It's crazy, man.
It's pretty wild. Yeah. I see quite a bit of it at work.
All right, Tony, let him know again, man.
Hey, Talking Game on all social. Monday nights, you'll get the episodes on YouTube and on Spotify. It's Talking Game. No G on Talking. Real quick, Instagram, Talking Game 1. Like I said, they was hating on me on Instagram. I want to know who was the first Talking Game so I can cuss their ass out.
Can you search though?
I probably can.
Yeah, man.
Just see what comes up.
Send him a DM.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, man, you got to come up off that. Like, let me get that. But,
I know you're not a gambling man, but everything you have, who you putting on to win the NBA championship? Right now, what's your feeling? I know OKC beginning of the season, but now you get a chance to pivot if you like.
Go Boston.
Okay.
Yeah, if I had to bet money.
Yeah, and then who you think coming out of the West? If you had to.
OKC.
Okay, still
coming out.
I hate to say
everything
Boston.
you own.
I hate to say Boston, but I'll go Boston. As a Lakers fan, it just pains me to say that.
And then out of the West,
it's gonna be Lakers-Boston finals.
Okay, you confident?
I had OKC before the season started, but I like pissed off Luka. We about to get pissed off Luka.
Yeah, definitely still had OKC. I want Lakers. I want Lakers ass.
Really?
That's what
you want the Cavs to go?
Yeah.
That's a good story.
I feel like I might not watch the finals if the
That's
Cavs
a good
are
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the story and all of that stuff.
Nah, I'm not a story
Bron
guy.
going back to Cleveland.
Not
You're
Cleveland.
the best basketball on the court guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just Cleveland I don't like, man. Nah, man.
Yeah, like let's not like you have to travel there to cover that fucking series.
Nah, still the Cleveland just
This doesn't do it for you.
Nasty work.
They can lose to LeBron in the finals. That'd be cool.
But yeah, I think Boston's taking it again. I do. And what's interesting, like I said, I do think OKC matches up well with them though. It might change if OKC is the team. The problem is I think Lakers can beat OKC if they line up with them. So it's But for right now, I do have Boston winning. Yeah. We'll see you guys next week. We'll be talking about some of these playoff results and all the other crazy stuff that's going to happen in the next 6 days.
Yeah.
Later. Appreciate you, champ, and everybody else who commented. Appreciate you guys as always. All right, Kobe, all you guys.
For sure.
Later. Even Coach Barudi's wife who disagreed with me. That's fine. It's still all love. Love you guys. Champ again with another super chat.
Bubba the Love Master.
Appreciate you, Champ, with another super chat, man. Donating to the show. I'm a fan. Good job, you guys. Definitely appreciate you every time, man. L, good night. You still got an open invite on the show. Need to come on. All right, later.